Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. Really cool interview by JC Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic on Rumble. Go to Rumble. Clif High popped in for Wacky Woo. Snippy, JC, and Clif. Great discussions about what's going to happen in our future. Clif explains what went on in Hawaii. Lots of great stuff. Go check it out. His channel, Jean-Claude's channel, is Jean-Claude with a hyphen at Beyond Mystic. That's on Rumble. They can't speak about this stuff on YouTube. I think they do an introduction on YouTube, but yeah, all three of those guys can't pretty much can't talk much about real stuff on YouTube. So check it out. Silver looking strong today. Strong meaning it's hanging above the moving averages. I don't know if they're going to slam it down before they let it run free. I have no idea. Will the good guys just take it and run with it and destroy the evil empire? Maybe. Matter of fact, I'm leaning more towards that than anything else over September. Is that we'll see some big bankster criminals taken out. If J.P. Morgan is taken out, goodbye. The game is over. The world's largest silver rigger, the actual company that's in possession of the SLV silver, the largest silver trove in the world. They see it as their silver. There's no doubt. They're leasing it, they're loaning it, they're lending it. So yeah, if J.P. Morgan's gone, we're free as far as the banking side. 60 trillion in derivatives would destroy the derivative market and everything collapses. So yeah, I'm leaning, hey, let's blame JP Morgan. Let's not blame, people not paying their mortgages. Let's blame the people who should be blamed. Entities like JP Morgan, HSBC, Bank of America, the World Economic Forum, Janet Yellen, Jerome Powell, Joe Biden, if he's still alive. We don't even know. Aim at the people who deserve the blame, right? Obama, you name it. You can go to, I'd say 90% of the politicians are in that category. 90%. That's a lot of politicians. So yeah, I don't see any election happening. That's why the Democrats are like, we won't even have debates. I mean, in what world do they not have debates? What free country doesn't have debates when you're trying to have elect a president? It's just the insanity of this. So I think the system will fall apart sooner rather than later. I think this year is the major damage is done, and then the rest of the time it's trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do for the next couple years, and then finally we'll get our stride back. That's why I'm like, get your physical silver in your own possession. I don't see any mining companies surviving this, at least ownership of them, because every nation will look at gold and silver first as the next money. Cryptos are going to run at some point, but are we going to even know what silver's worth or cryptos are worth if there's no exchanges open? None of these exchanges would be open if JP Morgan went down. They all base their buys and sells on fiat money, the banks being open. So it'll be really interesting. That gives you a lot, right? Check out the discussion with Clif High, and he'll give you a better explanation on that. Again, today is the first day of the new reporting cycle. So yesterday was the last day, and you can see. Let me show you right here how these reporting cycles work. Then you have this slam up right before on Tuesday, right before the next reporting cycle, and then we have a smaller move up. They're trying to. The whole idea is to get rid of the shorts for the deep state. There is a short coming in that we've seen on the non-reportables. I think it's probably the BlackRock or the U.S. government, the Exchange Stabilization Fund, just to keep things. I mean, that's how tenuous we are. Very interesting. The inventories on the silver COMEX added or transferred 14 million ounces to eligible, which is big, 14 million ounces. And everybody's saying, well, obviously it's to get ready for the deliveries on the COMEX. Maybe, could be, could also be keeping up a facade. I think they lie a lot on these reports, truthfully. So, I take everything with a grain of salt when they talk about, oh yeah, when J.P. Morgan says came out all out of J.P. Morgan's vault. When J.P. Morgan says, yeah, we're moving 14 million ounces into eligible, it could be a sale to the authorized participants of SLV who need right now. They're short a hell of a lot of silver on SLV. Yes, they allowed them to short. They're going to have to fill it with something. I would not be surprised if it was this 14 million ounces that moved was SLV's silver. Yep. JP Morgan controls it. JP Morgan was the largest silver rigger on planet Earth that was found. They had tens of thousands of illegal transactions between 2008 and 2016. They got a slap on the wrist. And oh, by the way, yes, I know, people are saying, oh, did you see the JP Morgan traders going to jail? Yeah, a couple went to jail. How much did they get paid by JP Morgan? How much are they going to walk away with? What kind of golden parachute did they give them when they said, okay, obviously we told you to do the rigging. We supported it. We 100% loved it. So we're going to pay you out a huge amount of money for going to jail. JP Morgan actually took a $1 billion gain in precious metals the same year they took the $920 million hit. Yeah, is it criminal? Of course it is. Do criminals get away with doing bad shit? Absolutely. Our justice system is broken in the United States of America. It's embarrassing to everybody who has half a brain. Many Democrats don't have half a brain. Huge problem. I was a Democrat for a long time. But now it's so obvious. Throwing Trump in jail for stuff that Biden's doing on steroids. Every Democrat has said the election is rigged when they lost. Every single one. And there's footage of it. How can anybody throw Trump in jail for saying, the election's lost? You better check it. The election was rigged. Of course they all say it was rigged. That's what you do when you lose and you're a criminal psychopath. all the Democrats' favorites, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. It is Michael, by the way. Even the Bush buddies. You know how they all hug. The Clintons, obviously. Yeah, all these presidents are in on it. Trump was not in on it. I don't believe Reagan was in on it until the end when he basically had Alzheimer's and they were running it for him. But Trump was not. And I'm not saying Trump's not a market rigger. He was the number one market rigger in history. He had to rig every market. And when J.P. Morgan tried to take down the United States of America by dumping all their repos, yes, J.P. Morgan was the reason the repo market spiked to 10%. Donald Trump took them down, said, I'm going to file RICO charges against you, racketeering, for rigging the gold, silver, and treasury markets. And all of a sudden, Jamie Dimon, act like the puppy that he is and say, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. And they stopped trying to take the United States of America down, which would have taken everybody down. And it was all for the election. So if you see hurricanes and fires and new COVID and all that, that's all for the election. Those are the Democrat psychopaths who cannot lose power, or everybody finds out who they are really and what they've done, especially to the children. So that's where we are. Again, silver isn't going to be allowed to run until the children problem is taken care of. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go see some movie. Go see that great movie, Sound of Freedom. Unbelievable movie. And publications like Rolling Stone magazine come out and thrash it. I just saw a documentary on the guy who was basically the guy who wrote all the great articles for Rolling Stone about the musicians back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I forgot his name. He had like half Chinese name and half American name. It was, you guys know who it is if you're into rock music. But a great documentary on Netflix. Go check that out. I forgot why I'm bringing this up, but anyway, more signs that the The end is near. This is the Office of Comptroller of Currency. The man in charge of the large banks is scrambling because that's the number one regulator. It's not really the CFTC and the SEC that regulate these banks. It's the Office of Comptroller of Currency. Agencies request comment period on proposed rule to require large banks to maintain long-term debt to improve financial stability and resolution. Good luck with that. It's way too late for all this shit. Way too late. Let me show you the guy. I will show you the man himself. OCC. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, here we go. It would be an under leadership. He's a JP Morgan guy, by the way. I think he took JP Morgan off his. That's it. Greg Coleman. He just changed his picture too. You guys, if you watched me a couple months ago, I was talking about this guy and his role in hiding the silver derivative position on the OCC derivative report by moving gold into it so you can't tell what's going on. He had a very young picture of himself. All of a sudden now he's an old man. Quite funny. Greg Coleman is his name. He is part of JP Morgan. Okay, it has it in here. Previously served as director within the Credit and Market Risk Division in the Office of Chief National Bank Examiner as the lead for capital markets team at ... JP Morgan Chase. So you got a guy from the largest criminal bank in the world with the largest risk position of $60 trillion in derivatives being the regulator. Are you freaking kidding me, America? The worst thing is I know that I love my country, but the American economic system deserves to be destroyed. And I'm not anti-capitalism at all. I mean, what's worth a socialist country who claims to be socialist or a rigged country who claims to be capitalist? There's nothing capitalist about the United States of America right now. Is socialism better? Hell no. Capitalism's better than all of it, but we need capitalism. And capitalism will not happen when we have guys like this, Greg Coleman, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon's right-hand man for regulation is this guy, Greg Coleman. And they're doing everything to hide what is truly going on behind the scenes. And all the banks are being gutted right now, literally gutted. Somebody asked me where David Ryder was, the ex-head of the U.S. Mint. Here's his, LinkedIn. He's a consultant. David Ryder, he's the guy who put the notch in the Eagles. He's the guy who worked for Honeywell on perfecting ways to identify an individual silver coin or gold coin by its crystalline structure. And Honeywell, David was part of this company that Honeywell bought out. I'll show you where it is. Secure Products Corp, who was bought out by Honeywell. And then he went back to be the Mint, and now he has a consulting group. So David Ryder knew what was going on all along. He knew we're going to have to go back to a gold and silver standard in the United States of America. And literally, he got thrown out and they stopped making Silver Eagles, right when Biden got in. Ventris Gibson, the head of HR for 40 years somewhere in D.C., was put as the head of the Mint, and she immediately told the guy in charge of Silver Eagle sales, do not sell any more Silver Eagles. Jack Sermon, go to roadtoroot.com, you can hear the interview. She said, do not sell any more Silver Eagles. He's like, we can't do that. Then sell as few Silver Eagles as possible. And that's when the Silver Eagle premiums went up 80%. Up to 80% of the cost of silver. It was insane. It's come back down. They're making more now. But the criminals are still in the position to control the show. I think David Ryder, who has come back to the Mint before, he was at the Mint in the 90s. I think David Ryder will be the next director of the Mint. It's such an important thing. He spent his whole life doing this. And they do have a way to put gold and silver, physical gold and silver coins that are your coins, with you control and own that specific coin. They figured out a way to put it on a blockchain. You can sell parts of your coin on your phone if you wanted, where the U.S. government holds your coin. This is a different U.S. government. A U.S. government after the crash where all the criminals are in jail. It's a beautiful thing that's going to happen. Anyway, his company is called Aureus Group, and I was like, what is that? So I looked it up, and of course, it is, Aureus was a gold coin from ancient Rome, originally valued at 25 pure silver denarii, or denarius. Was issued regularly from 1st century BC to the beginning of the 4th century AD. So that's 500 years this gold coin was issued. That's a hell of a long time. I don't know of any coin that has been on the planet that long, right? None of the coins today were the coin of the realm for 5,000 years. And the silver eagle and gold eagle started in 1987. So I can't really compare that. 500 years, or 5,000 years. Yeah, no, 500 years, sorry. 1st century BC to the 4th century, 5,000 years. 5,000 years. That's pretty impressive. So, also, sign of the end times. This is a viral video of this kid who's like wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" patch on his backpack, and this crazy psycho teacher wants to kick him out of school because of it. And she said its origins are from slavery. Listen to this.
Thank you.
He's with his mom.
Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with
The Revolutionary
slavery and slave trade.
Do you hear that? His mom goes, "It's origin with the revolutionary movement. It was the flag of the people overthrowing the tyrants in the British government." She goes, "No, it's the origins are with slavery." Listen to that again.
Flag.
So the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with
The
slavery and slave trade. That is what was, that's the reasoning behind them not wanting to display.
Slavery and the slave trade. Are you fucking kidding me? You psycho. Anyway, yeah, it's called the Gadsden flag. Don't Tread on Me. Is a historical American flag with a yellow field depicting the timber rattlesnake coiled and ready to strike. Beneath the rattlesnake are the words "Don't Tread on Me." It was designed in 1775, a year before we declared our independence, during the American Revolution. It was made by a guy for the Revolutionary Army. General, named for Christopher Gadsden. Christopher Gadsden was a brigadier general. Yeah, great flag. Anybody who cares about America should be embracing this thing. But for this psycho teacher, we got to get our kids out of school. These teachers are destroying college. Are you kidding me? Get the hell out of college. You're going to be brainwashed into some. First of all, the government pays for your tuition, and then they brainwash you on how they want you to think, and their thinking is completely sideways. So if you go to college and you're looking for an advanced degree in women's studies, trans women's studies or something like that, yeah, there you go. That's what you'd get. I don't know what you'd do when you got out of college. You could teach again. That's why colleges are so gigantic. Have you seen colleges lately, how much money goes into their programs, and they build these new stadiums and the new facilities? Where are they getting all this money? They're borrowing it from the federal government. So your tax money is paying for this kind of bullshit this lady's spouting. That's what I got for you. Well, won't be doing the Jenny Moon. Jenny's fine, by the way. Those of you wondering how Jenny survived in the hurricane, it went a little north of her, so she's fine. She texted this morning, but she's heading north to help some people out, and she won't be here tomorrow. So I'll do something different for the private road members. There's a lot to talk about. All right, and make sure you go check out on Rumble the Clif High discussion. Great discussion. It's nice to see Clif back. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later.